The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.
Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. Today is 2nd of October, which is a day of peace and democracy. And on a day like this, with a heavy heart, we have to say the climate activist and innovator Sonam Wangchuk is under detention by the Delhi police for violating the prohibitory orders. He was walking along with 150 of his associates. He wanted to hand over a memorandum of demands to the Prime Minister, and then he wanted to walk up to Rajghat to pay tributes to Mahatma Gandhi, but he wasn't allowed to do so. Now, what were the four major demands of Sonam Wangchuk? And he's been fighting for the people of Leh, for the people of Kargil for a very long time. He's trying to preserve the ecology. He's trying to preserve the constitutional rights. He's trying to preserve the democratic rights of the people. But it seems that the center has not noticed, has not heard the voices of the people of Ladakh. Now, what are those four demands? The four demands include statehood for Leh, that is one issue, statehood for Ladakh. Then it should be included under the 6th schedule of the Constitution. That is a second demand. Third demand is that there should be a dedicated public service commission. And the fourth demand is that there should be an accelerated recruitment process, and there should be a separate Lok Sabha constituency for Leh and Kargil. So these are the five set of demands with which Sonam Wangchuk wanted to walk up to hand over a memorandum, because he found that all the fasts which he had kept went unnoticed. The center didn't initiate any kind of dialogue. The center was in no mood to hear the people. And now he was forced to embark upon a Delhi Chalo Yatra, Padyatra. And as soon as he entered the Delhi border, he was detained along with his associates at the Singhu border, and he continues to be under the police detention. And there is a petition also filed in the Delhi High Court, which is against the detention of Sonam Wangchuk, and that is up for hearing tomorrow. But why is Centre not listening to the voices of the people of Leh and Ladakh? Joining me now are three people from Leh and Ladakh itself. We have Sipag, who's the councillor of Upper Leh. Sipag, thank you so much for joining. We have Nasir Munshi, who is the secretary and the convener of the Kargil Democratic Alliance, which is the organization under leadership this entire protest has been organized. Also joining us, Zakir Zaidi, who's an activist joining us from Ladakh. Thank you so much, Zakir. We have Kavita Srivastava, who's a renowned social activist from PUCL. Thank you so much, Kavita, for joining. And we have Professor Shashi Shekhar Singh, who joins us from the Delhi University, and he's in the middle of a program, and I had requested him to join our program, so he is there with us. So I'll begin with Professor Shashi Shekhar Singh because he has to go and I don't want to keep him waiting. So Professor Singh, I'll come to you first and then I'll go to the others. So Professor Singh, why do you what does it go to show about the mindset of the government that they detain Sonam Wangchuk along with his associates at the Singhu border? They don't allow him to enter Delhi. They don't allow him to even pay tributes to Mahatma Gandhi. And on a day like this, when we are sitting and discussing here that why Sonam Wangchuk has been detained. Now, what do you think does it show as far as the mindset of the government is concerned?
Okay, thank you, Nilu. Firstly, I want to bring to your notice that Medha Patkar, Prafull Samantra, and many others were sitting on fast today at Gulabi or Acharya Narendra Dev Batika. Okay, and then police came to them and they were also detained for some time, right? Secondly, then I went to Gandhi Samadhi, Bapu Samadhi, Rajghat, to pay my tribute, and there I came to know that there is some news that Sonam Wangchuk may be brought to the Rajghat for some times or something, but that didn't happen. So then I came back to Gandhi Peace Foundation, where there is a Gandhi Memorial Lecture going on, and Medha Patkar and many others, colleagues are already here. And therefore, I want to say something about regarding this, issue, that the government has a mindset not to allow people to raise any demand against the will of the government. That is very important point. The moment you will say something in favor of the government, the moment you will praise the government, the moment you will say something that the government is doing extremely well, then the government will be happy. Otherwise, the moment you will raise the question that government is not doing that, not doing this, therefore they are not ready to listen. That's a big problem with this Modi government. Sonam Wangchuk, as all of us, that he has been fighting for long, sitting on fast and dharnas, satyagrahs, all the Gandhian ways to protest and to bring to the notice of the government the various important demands. But what happened ultimately when he, along with the volunteers, came to the border, that means the Haryana and Delhi border, Singhu border, and the police detained them under the provision that 154 or 163, the new law is already there, and therefore you cannot proceed to Rajghat or enter Delhi. Now you can just imagine, they were coming from Ladakh, and almost 30 days they have already spent on their Delhi Chalo Padyatra, but now they were not allowed to enter, Delhi, the capital of India, the democratic political system, where this capital is not open for the people who are coming to pay their tribute to Gandhi, and then to give the demands, long-awaited demands of the people of Ladakh. And therefore, this has happened, and which is completely undemocratic. It is completely undemocratic, but the point is, the government is not ready to listen the demands. Even government is not ready to go for dialogue, and government is not ready to allow them to come and pay their tribute to Gandhi Samadhi, even on the Gandhi Jayanti. Now you can easily understand the mindset of the government, and I think this government is against the very spirit of the Constitution of India, the very spirit of the democracy and democratic principles, democratic values. And then they are always scared of the people who are raising questions, raising demands, raising, whatever the people of this part of the country or that part of the country want, or this community of the people or this that community of people want. And this has happened with Sonam Wangchuk analog with their volunteers. And therefore, we all are concerned about the way government is handling this situation, and the police. Police is directly, guided and directed by the Ministry of Home Affairs of Government of India. And therefore, you all know that what Amit Shah as the Home Minister is doing for long. And therefore, this is very unfortunate. And the people of this country and the people who are concerned about the Constitution of India, concerned about the democratic principles and democratic values, must come forward and support Sonam Wangchuk and put pressure on the government, to accept the important demands. What's wrong in all such demands? You have already mentioned some of the very important demands that he was raising for long. You know that Kashmir, I'm talking about the Jammu and Kashmir, when 370 and 35A was withdrawn by the government in 2019, and then the state, J&K state, was converted into a union territory. This has happened for the first time in the history of independent India, that one state is converted into union territory. Otherwise, many union territories were converted into state. So this unfortunate thing happened with J&K, and Ladakh was a part of J&K. So therefore, Ladakh is also the sufferer, and therefore you have to understand the demand for state, the demand for 6 schedules, the demand for Public Service Commission, the demand for division of the Ladakh parliamentary constituency in 2 parts, and of course the conservation of the ecology and all these things. And industrial mining and lobbying is the dangerous for this natural state or natural union territory. I'm talking about, I'm sorry, I'm calling it state. So unity. So therefore, we have to understand all these things, and we must support the cause of Sonam Wangchuk and the volunteers. And wherever there is any fight against the injustice, we all must support it. Thank you.
Now, Kavita, coming to you. Now, the Delhi police says that, there are so many festivals, there are Haryana elections, and which is why, and, they are expecting some untoward incident because of the protests on the Waqf bill. Now, these are the reasons which have been given by the Delhi police, and that is why, Section 163 of the Bharat Nyaya Sanhita, which is almost tantamount to what Section 144 was, that not more than 5 people can assemble in one place. And this has almost become like a routine feature of Delhi. How long will Delhi police continue to cite these reasons, and they will continue to keep this Section 163 in force? Yes, Kavita.
So let me tell you, this is really the pits of Indian democracy. What we saw, the police commissioner, Mr. Sanjay Arora, issue a statement that for the next 6 days, they are going to be imposing the Section 163 of Bharatiya Nyaya Suraksha Samhita, the erstwhile Section 144, on grounds which are which read like a weather report. That this could happen, it could happen. Supposedly communal disturbance because of a Waqf bill discussion that is happening. Supposedly the Shahi Idgah Park case, which is ongoing in the Delhi High Court, because of that it may happen, or because of the DUSU elections, because of the NCD standing committee elections. How ridiculous can the police get? This is like every day. That means they must just stop everything. The police is going to snatch away our rights, and then goes on to say VIP movement. VIP movement for October 2nd, and therefore not. And then, of course, it is applied only in certain districts. So I think this kind of, and Diwali and Dussehra, festive season, and Dussehra is like 15 days away or 13 days away, and Diwali is like a month later. How ridiculous. This is the time when there is VVIP movement, you have more police on the streets. When there is festivity, the police has to be more alert. You don't say, don't come into the market. Will you tell people, because Ram Leela begins tomorrow with Navratri Sthapna. Will they say now nobody is going to participate in Ram Leela at Ram Leela Maidan? Is that going to be your style? Just to stop. Was there anything overt? There was nothing. It's so ridiculous. They exposed themselves because there was nothing overt. What was the overt argument? Sonam Wangchuk, with 150 people, 900 kilometers they traverse through 5 states of Jammu and Kashmir, Union Territory, Punjab, Himachal, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi. In every state, there is nothing that stops them. But the moment they reach the Delhi borders, they are stopped. And not just that, they were divided up in several thanas. They were sent to various thanas. And Sonam Wangchuk was kept somewhere till there was halla bhai hai kahan. Then he was brought to one particular thana. But even lawyers were not allowed to access them. Now you can understand how your right is completely taken away. Everything that they've done is illegal. Suppose I'm detained for anything, I have a right to a lawyer. So this kind of illegal detention. Sonam Wangchuk, who is out on a 4-point agenda with the government of India, the conversations for 3 months, various groups, including Sonam Wangchuk, sat on fast unto death. What are the 3 points? Give us the status of a state. Give us a sixth schedule status. State status, sixth schedule status. Why state status? Because today they are under a deputy governor, an IAS officer who understands nothing, who brings in companies like Ernest Young and others to do planning for Ladakh, don't understand how fragile that ecology is. Lots of studies done by brilliant environmentalists show we have 5 years only to reverse the situation, and they have a couple of other agendas. Give us 2 seats Lok Sabha, Leh and Kargil, till now local officers have not been recruited. What is so terrible about these demands? Nothing is very legitimate. Democratically moved 900 kilometers, reach the border, and then you are told, sorry, No way. And where? You want to do a satyagraha at Rajghat. Today is Ahimsa Divas, but there is
And that
no
also they are not.
Ahimsa without satyagraha and Swaraj. This is Gandhi's principle. It's a non-violence. We can only talk of Ahimsa Parmo Dharam अगर सत्याग्रह है और अगर स्वराज का पूरा मिशन है, आप क्या करने जा रहे हैं? आप लोगों को उनकी बात रखने नहीं देंगे, आप इन लोगों को मंच कहा देंगे. I think Mr. Amit Shah, the Home Minister, ought to realize that it is only dialoguing with the people of this country that you build peace, and not by denying them that moment of dialogue. I would still say it's not late. उनको जाने दो राजघाट. अब आपका VIP प्रोग्राम हो गया, आपका सारा VVIP हो गया. Let them go to the Rajghat and let them sit there. You know, we were all planning to join them on 2nd and 3rd. And today, Medha is sitting quietly on a Anshan. Even I'm doing Anshan. We all, nationwide, symbolic Anshan against this thing that has happened with Sonam Wangchuk and his group. We all are sitting on Anshan today. I'm doing my work and still doing Anshan. So, these are the ways that we've learned from Gandhi, the person who brought us independence. Gandhi Vichar, Gandhi philosophy. By denying something like this, I would use your show today by telling the government of India, let them go today, evening itself. Keep 2nd intact and let them go and pay their obeisance. Let them go and do the satyagraha. Nothing. Delhi, and that order goes on to say there are elections happening in the borders. So fear of infiltrators and instigators. Are they infiltrators? Are they instigators? They come through 5 states. Nobody raises a bogey. So it is a shocking thing. If this be the pattern of Delhi police, and I'm sorry, we've already lost our democracy, because other states will also, we also BJP ruled, and we know how our state leaders, and we meaning Rajasthan, suddenly learning from UP, the whole demolition, punitive demolitions have begun. They learn all this also.
Right.
So I'm glad that the petition has been accepted by the Delhi High Court, and today the Mahant who hosts the Ram Leela has also moved the Supreme Court. So we are hoping that this order is struck down and the Delhi Police Commissioner is indicted, that everydayness is not emergent enough. I don't think the Delhi Police Commissioner has read what 163. There has to be an emergency. What is the emergency?
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Now let me go to the people who are from the region, from Leh, from Ladakh, and who matter to the people of Ladakh. Coming to you, Sepag, now, you are the councillor of Upper Leh. Now, you've been seeing Sonam Wangchuk fasting. He was on a climate fast in January also. People tried to initiate a dialogue with the center, but what happened in the previous months? What have you really seen, and why has the center really turned a deaf ear to all the problems of the people of Leh?
First of all, Neelu, thank you so much for giving us this platform to make our voices heard all across the nation. To answer your question, we need to look at this present central government in a very holistic way. What it is doing to many other states also. Look at Manipur. What is happening in Manipur? Why isn't this BJP government listening to the people of Manipur? My point is, we are demanding something which is our constitutional right. Sixth schedule. Sixth schedule was created in the Indian constitution for people like us. We are people, tribal people. We are majority of the people in Ladakh are tribal people. This particular section of the Indian constitution, it is our right, because we, as tribal people, we have a right to actually save our culture and tradition, because we are a minuscule population. We are almost like 3 lakhs people only, although we are the largest district in India, but by population wise, we are minuscule. What we are afraid of is that if we don't get something, if we don't get sixth schedule, we are afraid that multinational corporations from outside Ladakh will come in India, and you know that there are barren lands, mountains which are full of minerals. We are afraid that they will come over here and they'll take all the minerals away, destroying our climate, destroying our ecosystem. And mind you, what Sonam Wangchuk is doing is a climate walk. In the sense, we are trying to save the Himalayas. If we are granted sixth schedule, we will make laws according to the nature, because we have been living in Ladakh in harmony with the nature for so many centuries now. You have to understand, this is not something that we are demanding exclusively for Ladakh. If Ladakh is safe, if the mountains, if the glaciers, if the rivers flowing in Ladakh is safe, whole of India is safe and the whole planet is safe. Let me just give you an example. There is a long range of plain called Skyanchutang. It is almost like 50-60 kilometers of long plain range. Now there are a lot of wild animals, wild as mermaids, and a lot of wild animals staying over there. Now that particular land has already been given to a very large corporate house in India. Now whatever they do, they'll occupy the land and they'll destroy the ecosystem over there. That's just a small example that we are trying to prevent. We all, as an Indian, we need to understand that this is not something that we are exclusively demanding something for Ladakh. Of course, Ladakh will have its own advantages, but this is something that will benefit whole of India. I would like to add that this will benefit the planet itself. What we are trying to say is it's not something we're demanding exclusive. It is our right. It is given in the Indian Constitution. And in the end, I would like to add that this is it is a very sad day in the history of Ladakh. Sonam Wangchuk being detained in Delhi. We condemn this act of Delhi police, and we want to ask you this question: are you incapable of protecting 150 people? Are you so incapable that you have to detain them and give so many excuses? Waqf board, new election, Haryana election, these are all facade. These are all something entirely not true, and we totally don't buy it. For the first time in the history of Ladakh, let me tell everybody listening to us, for the first time in the history of Ladakh, whole of Ladakh has been united for this single cause, for the 4-point agenda. People from Kargil are united, people from Ladakh, people from Leh, we are both united. We are standing as a united front, demanding one particular issue. The apex body in Leh and KDA in Kargil. We are demanding this. So it is not something for Ladakh. I would like to reiterate. It is something for the whole planet. I'm right now in Ladakh. I remember when I was a kid in October, it used to be very cold. It used to be very cold that we used to wear so many thick layers of clothes. It's October now, and I'm wearing this one shirt. This shows that this is what is causing this. We are demanding. See, if global warming is happening, people from mountain, we are the first person to actually have that burnt of global warming. But ultimately, people from other areas will also feel the burn.
Right.
We're just requesting, save Ladakh, save the planet.
Right. But let me come to Nasir Munshi now. That Nasir, since the time abrogation of Article 370 happened, these two separate UTs were made. Now, what happened to Leh and Ladakh? Did Centre completely abandon Leh? And they have just not bothered to find out what's happening with the people, what are the demands of the people. So since formation of the UT, has the Centre really not bothered to see what the people over there want?
Actually, after the abrogation of 35A, this youth are totally frustrated. They need employment, and government is not ready to provide them employment. And Ladakh being a 98% scheduled tribe population, and we are not getting the benefit of scheduled tribe status. Once the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has already, they have projected Ladakh, they have recommended that Ladakh could be brought under 6th schedule. And the present dispensation, the BJP government, while there was an election in Leh, in the Hill Council, in the charter of this manifesto, the first point was to grant 6th schedule for Ladakh. And after the passing of election, they have totally backtracked from their, this promises which they have made that Ladakh will be brought under the ambit of sixth schedule. So it is very unfortunate that the people of Ladakh who has visited Delhi, intending to visit Delhi with the 4-point agenda, which is which is a consensus agenda of both Leh and Kargil districts, and it is very unfortunate that instead of listening them, they have been put behind the bars. So on the day of this Gandhi Jayanti, we used to call Bapu's birthday. Mr. Modi is saying that democracy is in veins and in democracy in his DNA. So it's a very shame on part of democracy that the people who are protesting peacefully, the constitution guarantees us for this expression of freedom of speech that has been totally, um, uh,
Infringed.
infringed. So it's very unfortunate. It is this day could be this day should be right in black letters in the history of Ladakh. It's very unfortunate, and we strongly condemn it.
All right. Now, Zakir, I'll come to you. What's happening today in Leh? Yesterday, also, the shops were shut down. Today, also, I'm hearing and seeing reports of a blockade. So, what is really happening? And do you see the life coming back to normalcy in Leh and Ladakh till the time at least Sonam Wangchuk is not released? We do not know when he's going to be released from the detention. Tomorrow, there's a Delhi High Court hearing. So, hopefully, there should be some breakthrough tomorrow. But what about the situation in Leh and Ladakh? Is it really very sensitive at this point of time?
Yeah,
Yes, Zakir.
the twin district of Ladakh that includes Leh and Kargil, it is on standstill, and entire business establishments, all the roads, major roads are closed, and everyone is supporting us because everyone in Ladakh knows why we are protesting, why we are on the roads. And now we have in this country, when we have a government who doesn't want dissent, so we, our only hope is now from the Delhi High Court. Hopefully, inshallah, Delhi High Court will pass an order in favor of us, and inshallah, Sonam Wangchuk will be free tomorrow, by tomorrow. Because because Nilu, see, we haven't done anything wrong. We are asking for we are matlab demanding things which are guaranteed in the constitution. हम कोई ऐसी चीज मांग ही नहीं रहे हैं जो constitution से बाहर हो. So we are saying we want sixth schedule because 97, as my fellow Ladakhis have raised this thing, कि we are saying we want a sixth schedule because we want to protect our environment. We want to protect our environment from the corporates who wants to so the problem which we are facing in Ladakh at this point of time, as yesterday I mentioned as well, that we have a setup where Home Ministry is appointing Ahmad Kader, IS officer, who doesn't know about the topography of Ladakh. I'll give you a simple example of this thing, Jal Jeevan mission, which has been implemented in Ladakh. It more than 50% works are substandard because they don't know how to insulate the things, and majority of our funds are getting wasted. So we are saying we need statehood so that we can make our own laws. We want technology. See, Ladakh in winters the temperatures goes down minus 30 degrees Celsius. So we need technologies who are friendly to the environment, friendly to the nature as well. So that's why we are saying we want a safeguard, because we want that our students, the jobs of our students are protected.
Right. So, of course, sixth schedule is at the heart of all the demands, and this is what has united the entire Leh and Ladakh. Now, quick comments from all of you, very brief comments. Coming to you first, Kavita, and then I'll come to you briefly. Not in just about a minute, if you can try and wrap it up. So, what would you really say? What happens if Sonam Wangchuk still is not detained tomorrow? Very briefly, yes, and then I'll come to others also. Yes. You'll have to unmute yourself. Kavita, I think you're muted. Yeah.
If Sonam Wangchuk is release tomorrow? That's your question. Of course, he is such a determined Gandhian and worker that he will definitely come to Rajghat. The satyagrah will start. They're peacefully asking, putting all the burden on themselves, walking 900 kilometers and asking on behalf of the people of Ladakh, come talk to us. Tell us, when will you do this? At least the government of India, Amit Shah, owes them one small meeting. After all, he never gave them in 3 months dharna. What happened, and people sat on Anshan even then, fast unto death. They even sat for long lengths of period. The monks, the women, the youth, Sonam Wangchuk himself. I mean, I think democracy in India will be lowered further if the government of India doesn't come forward tomorrow and meet them and let them go to Rajghat and talk to them.
Sapak, I'll come to you now. What would you really say if supposing the center is just not ready to talk to Sonam Wangchuk? Because if he has come up to Delhi and if still the center shows reluctance and they are not in a mood to meet, so what will Sonam Wangchuk's next step will be? Yes, Sapak.
Uh, I think he already mentioned in one of his videos that if he's not allowed to meet or if he's not allowed to go to the Rajghat, he already announced that he's going to sit on an Anshan unto death. So all of our Ladakhis, we are in total support with him. Whatever we have to do, if Sonam Wangchuk is in Delhi for Anshan, we are planning to actually hold an Anshan in Leh also, so that all the people in Leh, they could also support him in our own way. But
All right.
in the end, I would like to send one message to everybody who's listening to us. Everybody talks about democracy these days, right? You have right to vote, you have to choose, you have the right to choose your own legislature, you have the right to choose your own CM, right? But let me tell you, in Ladakh, we don't have that luxury, I would call it. You know why? Because in Ladakh, we have a UT administration, people coming from outside, and they make all the policies, and everything is made by the UT administration only. Let me tell you, UT set up in the Indian constitution is an exception to democracy. UT, the whole concept of UT was established because they thought that maybe there could be some remote people who, the residents of that place were not capable of governing themselves. So they came up with something called union territory, so that that particular place could be governed from Delhi. But let me tell you, people of Ladakh are more than capable of actually governing for ourselves. We are capable of making policies for ourselves. Don't make this exception for Ladakh, please. And
Okay.
we also, please, let me one last point. Sonam
Just
Wangchuk was walking
very brief,
peacefully to,
very brief. Yes.
yeah, Sonam Wangchuk was walking peacefully to Delhi. So was Gandhiji. Today is Gandhi Jayanti. Gandhiji made that walk, march, and the Britishers, they arrested him. Let me ask this question to the central government now. Are you Britishers? Are you doing the exact same thing what Britishers did to Gandhiji? No. If you're not, then please release him. Listen to our voice. Listen to what the people of Ladakh are saying. More than 90% of the people of Ladakh are demanding sixth schedule. You should please listen to us. Thank you.
All right. I'll come to you now, Nasir. What do you really have to say if, like what Sepak was saying, that we'll continue with an Anshan in Leh, and here also Sonam Wangchuk will continue with his fast. So does it look like a long drawn process? Because if the government is not ready to listen, the police is not ready to release him. I do not know what is going to happen tomorrow in the High Court. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's be positive, and we all hope that he comes out. But supposing for some reason his detention is still delayed, then what is your further course of action? Very briefly. Yes, Nasir.
Yeah, people in Ladakh are very upset from the detention of Mr. Sonam Wangchuk and all other leaders of KDA and Apex Body Lay. So, if the government will release him tomorrow, then it will be, very fortunate for us. And he should provide a time to visit Rajghat to give his
Will he
Shraddhanjali
try
there.
will he
Yeah,
try
and
meeting the leaders, the central leaders, the leaders of the central government? Will he try to, supposing if he's released, of course he'll go to visit Rajghat, but apart
yeah.
from that, will he put out his demands again to the center? Will you try and
Yeah,
initiate dialogue?
yeah, he should be provided time with the Home Ministry along with all the leaders of KDA and Apex so that they may again put their demands in front of the
All right.
Home Minister. And the talk should be resumed at the earliest because last time, it was going in a very good way, and at the later moment the talks were failed. The talk should resume again. We believe in peace. We believe in dialogue process, and the dialogue process should be immediately started. And if the government is not going to release Sonam Wangchuk and his associates by tomorrow evening, then there will be a big law and order problem in Ladakh because everybody is ready to come on streets in protest against the illegal detention of Sonam Wangchuk and all other leaders of Ladakh.
All right. So you're saying that it could deteriorate into a law and order problem. Zakir, what would you really say towards the end? Very, very briefly. Very briefly. Yes.
See, हमने ये पहले भी we have raised the same issue with the center. If center is not willing to listen to our grievances, then the only option that is being left with us is to protest. Because the Constitution of India gives us that provision if our things are not heard at the center or state level. So the only things that is left with us is we will protest, we will register our protest in a peaceful manner, and if there is anything उसके अलावा भी अगर हम कुछ कर सकते हैं तो we are ready to sacrifice our lives as well.
Okay. So now it's high time.
One last thing,
Yes.
Neelu, this Mr. Amit Shah will go down in history along with Modi for not talking to people in Manipur. They haven't talked. They have not gone. They've not visited. Till now, they could have gone to Ladakh, and met the people there instead of this 900 kilometers walk. What is this? All they have to do is take a plane and parachute. What is this? So it's actually these are not democratic leaders. They will let the people literally beg,
I
squawk,
second you on that.
demanding dialogue, sitting on unshan. Is that a nice thing? That we have to, sacrifice ourselves so that you talk to us. Yes, that is a form of satyagrah. But that Gandhi developed against enemies like the Britishers, against rulers. For our own people, they should
Right.
realize it's shameful, I think. Mr. Amit
No,
Shah ought to move in.
These are some very thought-provoking questions, and why the center is not ready to listen to the voices of the people of Leh, and for that matter, even Manipur. Kavita is right that PM has not bothered to go to Manipur, and now the same treatment is being meted out to the people of Leh. But let's see what happens tomorrow in the court, and also we will keep an eye on what happens to this Anshan or the fast, which is being embarked upon by Sonam Wangchuk, and we all hope he comes out tomorrow. Thank you so much, Kavita. Then we have Sepag, Nasir Munshi, Zakir. It was wonderful having you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion, subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal.
The Federal and Devaki Specialty Hospital jointly present the Madurai Marathon 2024 Run for Health on Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Entry is free for all.